we're going to continue our conversation here about bullying and specifically what parents can do if you think your child might be suffering.
Yeah, joining us now is Rania Mankarious, CEO of Crime Stoppers Houston, and she is here to talk to us about this really important topic. Rania, thank you for being with us this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, Rania, let's just talk to parents. I mean, how can parents begin that conversation with, bullying with their child? How can they just start that conversation, figuring out if their child is dealing with this?
Well, I'll take it back. And, we talk about parenting issues through storms a lot together. And I'll remind people, start young. When they're young toddlers getting ready to go to Mother's Day Out programs, preschool, early elementary school, we start talking about our role in the community and our role amongst our friends, kindness, being there for each other, noticing people who are not as kind, and then what is our role in that? And then graduate those conversations, because I tell you, every one of us is going to have a child that may face this. Now, I do think it's important to distinguish kids who might be mean for a moment and bullies, because bullies are persistent. They want an action. They want you to be emotionally harmed, physically harmed. They want to exclude you from your peers. They want there to be a physical, mental, or emotional response in you. And that is serious, and it requires all hands on deck. So we want to be talking to our kids about the real issues of bullying, making sure they realize they should never be the bully, but they also always have a safe place if they become the victim. And that safe place is first and foremost with mom and dad at home.
Indeed. And again, some of the signs that this might be happening, or maybe even it's not happening to the child, but maybe they're witnessing even at school. It's important to talk about that probably too.
Absolutely. And Maureen didn't go into David's story, but one of the most gut-wrenching pieces of David's story, and she shared this at the funeral, is that other kids said, we saw what was going on. We knew David was being relentlessly bullied, and we stayed quiet, and we regret that. And so in these conversations that I'm really urging, and Crime Stoppers has so many free resources to walk you through it, but you want to talk to your kids about, again, what bullying looks like, but then also what your role is. And honestly, we're calling upon all kids to be a disruptor, whatever that might mean, whether it's interjecting on a social media post and saying, this is not funny. Maybe it's reporting a social media post. You see a friend being bullied. Maybe it's taking a friend aside, even if it's not a friend, and saying, look, I know what's happening and I feel terrible and I want to be a safe place for you. Bullying, and especially in the cyber world, has escalated so greatly that what do we fear? We fear suicidal ideation, self-harm, or potentially suicide. And that's why this is so important. We also worry about students feeling so isolated that they then come back with an agenda, maybe an agenda against the abusers or an agenda against the school. So this is a very serious topic that we all have to be focused on.
And Maureen shared, David's law and why it's so important to have resources for families. And when you feel like you've gone to the school and you don't have the school maybe responding as much as you want to take it all the way up, even take some legal action. So talk about the importance, Rania, of David's law.
David's law is huge because it creates a roadmap and a plan where there formerly really wasn't one. Schools' bullying policy really focused on what happened on the school bus, on recess, on the school grounds, but it didn't know what to do after school hours and certainly in the cyber safety world. And parents didn't have any recourse, but it created a pathway and a plan. And so now what we tell parents, if you ever feel that your child is truly being bullied, you need to wear 3 hats. You need to put on the parental hat first and foremost and make sure your child knows that you are there for them, that you are going to get them whatever help they need, emotional, mental health. Maureen mentioned taking them to their family doctor, going to a therapist if necessary. You are a safe place. You then also have to put on your investigator hat. You've got to take all the notes. You've got to get the stories. You've got to get the facts, and you've got to write it out, because you've got to be prepared to go to the school and share the story, share your child's story. You've got to know your school's policy, and you've got to be prepared, as Maureen said, to take it up that chain. And that brings you to your third hat. You've got to be a consistent advocate. You've got to say, listen, I don't want you, son or daughter, to ever be in a worse position than you are. We're going to make your safety, your well-being our number one priority, but we're also prepared as your parents to do whatever we must, using every tool David's Law gives us to take this through to completion. And the completion would be that your child can go to school feeling healthy, happy, safe, and secure, and ready to learn.
Yeah, that's what they're there for at the end of the day, and it's nice for parents to finally have this support. Rania, good to see you. Thank you for your time, and as always, great information for families. Thanks again.
Thank you.
And you can find anti-bullying resources online at our website, clicktohouston.com/community. There you can also learn more about David's legacy, the law, and the foundation.